I was once a fugitive. Now I'm about to become a queen. Join me to witness this reversal of power and feel the interweave of love and betrayal. Chapter 51. Be honest, POV. I turned to look at Damon. It wasn't even up to 4 hours and they already had a plan in motion possessing 𝐊𝐢𝐬 to kill Damon. That was fast. They were ahead of us. Where's Sam? I asked, standing up to follow Jonathan. He's trying to hold her down, but it's futile. She won't stop. What do we do now? I'm tired of this already. How do we get her to stop now? I don't know. Maybe we can all try holding her down. I don't know why they will possess her and command her to kill the Alpha King when we don't even know who that is. Except if he's with us right now. He looked at me and then at Damon. You're the Alpha King. We have to try and stop her. Damon answered and Jonathan nodded. We were about to go, but I told Damon to stay. If they both see a fight will definitely occur, and when it does, 𝐊𝐢𝐬 will fight to death because it was her mission. To kill him, and no matter how defensive Damon will be in his attacks, he was bound to hurt her, and she was pregnant. If she doesn't see you, it may subside. Jonathan added. Damon still wanted to come along though. Don't worry. I'll call you if we need your help, I said, and just then the door was burnt down. 𝐊𝐢𝐬 looked nothing like herself. She looked inhuman and extremely dangerous. Kill the Alpha King, she shouted before charging towards Damon, but before she could do anything a gentle wind pushed her to the other side of the room, but Damon didn't even do anything. Turning around, I looked to see 𝐊𝐬𝐬. I'm not going to let you hurt him, 𝐊𝐬𝐬 stated, coming face to face with 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬. Then I'll kill whoever comes in my way, 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬 yelled, throwing the ball of fire at 𝐊𝐬𝐬, which she dodged skillfully. We don't want to hurt you. Just back off, 𝐊𝐬𝐬 said, dodging other attacks from 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬. 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬, stop. This is not you. Please stop. I begged, but she didn't even turn to look at me, and just continued her attacks on 𝐊𝐬𝐬𝐬. Everyone else was confused on what to do, so we just tried staying out of their way till Sam came with a potion. Sam entered carrying a blue bottle with a potion in it and started pouring it on 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬 from her head to toe while chanting a spell, and soon enough she started shaking, turning around and screaming. What did you do to me? She angrily asked, attacking Sam with different elements all at once. The best thing to do, he replied, knocking her out, and I heaved a sigh of relief. Will that stop her? Everyone seemed to question. For the time being, yes. We will have to tie her up with silver chains because it might have worn out by then, Sam answered. That will hurt her, I said, worried about her and her child's safety. But it won't kill her, Sam stated. Let's tie her up and try to find a solution. He was right though. We need to find a solution. We need a plan. 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬 was tied up now with silver chains and kept in the dungeon with guards watching over her. She was still unconscious, and I was worried about how things will turn out when she wakes. How did you come up with a potion so quick? Jonathan asked, staring suspiciously at Sam. I had a feeling they would do something like that since it was one of their moves, considering all the things they did to 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬, so I made a potion to counter their attacks, Sam answered. We need to come up with a plan fast. They are probably watching us right now. Sam, is there anything you can do to stop that? Damon asked, to which Sam gave a curt nod before chanting some spell. We are no longer being monitored, Sam announced as soon as he was done with the spell. Great. Is there a way we can free 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬 from the spell? He asked next. It's dark magic. The source has to be destroyed, Sam answered. Is there no other way? What of the witch who helped me out before? Can't you both do something? I desperately asked. I didn't want anything to happen to 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬 and Damon. We needed to stop this quick as possible. We can, but we have to embark on that journey, Sam answered, and remembering all that we went through to get there and vowing not to ever go again, I quickly sought the easy way out. Why don't you summon her? You can just teleport to her, bring her here and sort this out, I quickly suggested. It doesn't work that way. She stays hidden. She doesn't want to be found, so it will be hard summoning her, but I could try teleporting and bringing her here, Sam answered, and I heaved a sigh of relief. Hopefully she agrees and we settle everything. We'll see in a few, he said before disappearing. This needs to stop soon. It's getting too much already, and nothing even makes it worthwhile for me. I still haven't found my mate to add to all of this. Jonathan winced. I laughed a little. I know he was trying to make light of the situation. Don't worry. You'll find her soon. Just have faith. Arya told him, and he looked as if he was about to say something but was cut short by Chase walking in. What happened here? He asked, looking at each of us. Arya looked from him to Damon and they shared a look. I guess he didn't know about Damon's true identity as well, and it was time for him to know. Lee, there's something we need to talk about, Jonathan said, and I nodded. I'm sure he had a lot of questions going through his head. We all left the room for Damon and Chase to talk while Jonathan and I went downstairs to talk about our own issue. Did you know he was the Alpha King? Jonathan asked. Immediately we sat down. I had my suspicions, but I wasn't sure. It was only today I confirmed it. I answered, and he sighed. He should have told us about it. He really kept that big secret from all of us, including you. Aren't you mad? He asked, and I chuckled. Believe me, I am, but it's not going to solve anything. It will only push us back, and that's not what we want. We need to be on the move and prepared for anything. I answered, and he nodded. This has gotten more complicated than I thought. Hopefully this all ends soon. I just want to find my mate. Live a stress-free life and have a good time, Jonathan wishfully said. Soon, Jonathan. We're almost there. I encouraged. But it's kind of cool though. Since Damon is the Alpha Queen, that makes you the Alpha Queen. Or Wolf Queen, or what's it called? The witches should be scared. Our team is made up of efficiently skilled people. There's Damon, Law and Day. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Sam, you and of course me. We make a great combo. We can do this. He said, smiling, and I smiled too. We actually had a good team. We can do this. But it's crazy though. How come Damon never used his powers and Arya has powers too as well? They are really good at hiding things. Jonathan said, and I chuckled. I never really used my powers because I feared that Law and Day would find me, and I didn't want anyone to find out. It must be the same for them. I added. Looking back now, it feels like a year already since I first saw Damon. A lot has happened. A lot has changed. Goodness, I just want all of this to be over. To be able to sleep peacefully and really enjoy life. Jonathan said, and I smiled, hoping for that day. It wasn't so far again. A loud whoosh noise of the wind startled us, and when it stopped we saw Sam, and I heaved a sigh of relief seeing him with the witch that helped me out before. Great. We can break the spell now without anyone getting hurt. Arya suddenly rushed in, panting. Lauren Day and Damon. They got into a fight. She stabbed him. Chapter 52. Just when I thought that everything was going to go well without anyone getting hurt, Lauren Day stabs Damon. How did that even happen? At least Sam is here now, and they are going to break the spell. I just had to make sure Damon was okay, and it was nothing serious. We all followed Arya and went to where Damon and Law and Day were. They were at the dungeon. Several guards were trying to hold her down. Damon stood at corner, his hands around the left side of his stomach, trying to take out a dagger from it. The sight before me caused me to scream out his name. I just hoped the dagger wasn't coated with silver or poison, and it was nothing serious. How did she even get loose? She kept on fighting with the guards, trying to set herself free from their grasp, but they managed to hold her down, even though it looked like that wouldn't be the case anytime soon. Goodness, Damon. How did this happen? I asked, rushing to his side. It's nothing. I just need to get this out. He was referring to the dagger and didn't answer my question, dismissing it. It's a good thing Sam was here with the witch so they could get Law and Day back to normal. Let's get you out of here and get this treated. I helped him up, and on hearing my words, Law and Day let out a loud grunt and broke free from their grip, ready to pounce on Damon, but I stepped in front of him and used a gush of wind to push her aside. She got back on her feet quickly and was ready to pounce again, but Sam and the witch stepped in. You should go with him. I'll take it from here. I didn't need to be told twice because I helped Damon out of there quickly till we got to the room where the doctor was already waiting because Arya had called him. The doctor needed privacy to get his work done, so we excused him. Arya and I took a walk around the room, and I asked Tact. He wanted to see if she was awake and hungry or something, so we decided to check on her, And when we did, we saw that she had already broken free from the chains, and before we could process it, she stabbed Damon, and I rushed to call you away, instructing some guards to hold her down and call the doctor too. She replied, staring at me intently. If she wasn't your sister and pregnant, we would have wasted no time in destroying her, but I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes and hers. This needs to end soon. When the spell has been broken, we will be taking a trip to the castle. We need to put a stop to this. I nodded, agreeing to what she said. I've never seen the castle before or been there since. Only the nobility were allowed there, and to think that they grew up in a castle is lovely, but that must have been a very long time ago. I doubt if they can remember it clearly. Can't wait for all of us to get together and end this. We will soon be taking actions. Damon just need to get better. I wonder how he's doing. I don't know why the doctor didn't let us stay with him. Quick, let's go to room 203. I heard some nurses say, running while making a dash to the room. Room 203. That was Damon's room. What's going on? I was beginning to panic. I really believed him when he said it's nothing serious. We need to go see Damon. We chorused, running along with the doctors. We go to the room, and when we got there, all I saw was blood. Damon was bleeding terribly. What happened? I assumed the nurses were trying to prevent us from going any closer. You have to leave so we can do our job, the doctor said while getting something to him. Is he going to be okay? Arya asked. She looked calm and collected, but I was freaking out. I'm sure she was too, and was probably blaming or was planning to kill Lauren Day. We're not so sure. The poison is really deep into his system. Please leave so we can continue. Arya and I left the room, and she looked pissed, walking in the direction of the dungeon. A lot of things were going through my head. Damon shouldn't die. No, he can't die. I just need to call Sam and the witch if there's something they can do, because it probably wasn't a normal poison. The witches must have done something extra to it, and they were the only ones that could stop it. Arya looked angry, and I really hope she wasn't going to hurt Lauren Day in any way. It could have been anyone that they used, including me and her. I just had to make sure that I'd protect Lauren Day and her baby so nothing happened to her. Did I feel like hurting her as well? I'm not going to lie, a part of me does, especially when my brain is bringing up all the bad things she has ever done, but I'm just reminding myself that it's not her fault. It was never her fault. Assuming it was, I would have thrown caution out the wind. I also get where Arya is coming from. She wants to protect her brother as well. I'm also going to protect my sister if she does anything rash. Arya was marching to the dungeon, and I was running, trying to beat her to get there. On getting there, we saw Sam, the witch, and Lauren Day, and it seemed as if they had already broken the spell. We did it, Lee. Lauren Day is free, Sam announced with a small smile. I was grateful that she was back to normal, and just wished that what has happened in the last few hours could be reversed and Damon was not badly hurt. I'm so sorry, Anna. I didn't mean to. How is he doing? She asked, sobbing. I know she didn't mean to hurt him, but she already did, and now he's in a critical condition. He's not looking good, I answered, and began to cry. I didn't know what to do anymore or what to even think. Please, Sam. Please, let's go see what you guys can do. He needs your help. We should hurry if we want to save him. The witch spoke up, and just as we were about to get going, Arya came in, attacking Lauren Day with full force, causing her to be pushed violently against the wall. Arya, please stop. We shouldn't be fighting now. Our priority is saving Damon. Please don't do this. I begged, standing in front of her. I really didn't have the strength for all of this. So much was happening in just one day. I can't lose him, Lee. We only just reunited. We still have so much to do together, she said, bursting out in tears, and I was shocked to see her cry, since she always portrayed herself as a tough girl, but we've all been through a lot, and the thought of losing someone close to you is disheartening. We wouldn't lose him. Sam and the witch will do something. He'll be all right, I promise. I said, trying to convince not just her but myself. He has to be all right. We need to get going before it's too late, the witch said again, and that just spurred everyone to action as we hurriedly made our way to the room where Damon was being treated. Chapter 53. We made our way to Damon's room as fast as we could, and we could see the doctors trying their possible best, but it was not working. He was looking pale, as if blood was being sucked from his body, which it literally was, because he was bleeding terribly. He looked helpless. Truly, it will be a miracle if he survives this. Sam, please, you guys should do something. We can't lose him. I can't lose him, I begged, crying. At this point the doctors had already stepped aside, knowing fully well that there was nothing they could do at this point because this surpassed their area of expertise. They gave us a sad look before walking out with an expression that looked like all hope was lost. I turned to look at 𝐿𝐸. She was crying as well and probably blaming herself, thinking she was bad luck and brought trouble wherever she went. Arya was crying as well and she looked like she would really kill 𝐿𝐸 if something bad happened. And there's me, feeling helpless and angry. Angry at the witches and myself. I felt so useless. Wasn't there anything I could do to help? He's losing too much blood. If you have something to do, 𝐿𝐸, do it. Arya shouted at Sam and the witch. They had been trying different spells, potions and enchantment, but it didn't look like anything was working. He couldn't go like that. The destiny of our kingdom rests on his shoulder. He's supposed to be by my side forever. We have a million things to do together. There's no way I'm going to lose him. 𝐿𝐸, you can do this, you can help. You're a white wolf. You have immense healing power. You can save him. 𝐿𝐸 shouted as if she just remembered while I was staring at her like a dumb. I've never healed anyone before, not even myself. How do I even go about it? What if it doesn't work? What do I do? Yes, 𝐿𝐸, you can do this. We can all work together to extract the poison from him before it causes more damage, and with your powers you can heal him completely, Sam added. I was confused. Yet another thing hidden from me. How can I not know that I have the power to heal and only know about it now in this critical state? 𝐿𝐸, please do something. We're losing him, Arya said softly, still crying, going over to hold Damon's hands. What do I do? I asked eagerly. If I could help, I am more than happy to. I can't lose him. You need to connect to your wolf. She has the powers, and when you're both connected you will unlock this special gift and she'll direct you on what to do, Sam instructed. Just great. I've locked my wolf out for months. I've not been in contact with her. I can't even shift, and now I'm supposed to connect to her for the healing gift. Will she be help? You can do this, 𝐿𝐸. Just breathe. Close your eyes and connect with her. You've got this, 𝐿𝐸 encouraged. It sounded easy, but I knew the connection could not be made instantly, but it was worth trying. I took a deep breath and tried connecting with my wolf. I tried for up to a minute and nothing happened. You need to come from a place of sincerity and calmness, Sam instructed, and I tried again. Don't panic. You got this. You're not going to lose your mate. Your wolf will connect with you and you'll heal him. I repeated this to Muse while trying to stay calm. I've got this. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I focused on connecting with Alexis and letting go of every worry and pain that I was feeling. Alexis, please, I need you. We need you. I need you to help me. Please, if you can heal Damon, please help. He's my mate. Your mate. Our mate. I need you to help me save him. We need him. We can't lose him like this. We still have a lot to do together. Alexis. I was getting nothing from Alexis, and I could feel hot tears fall from my cheeks as I felt this was the end. Alexis, I'm sorry for shutting you out. Please, you need to help me. We need to save him. I was trying to be as calm as possible and forget about the fact that Damon was hanging onto a thin thread. Alexis, please, if you can hear me, help me. Please. I was begging Alexis like a life depended on it, because it didn't. I was not even getting a reply. I could slowly feel my anger rising against her for not willing to help, but quickly shook it off. I needed to come from a place of sincerity and purity. Alexis. Alexis. I need you. I screamed the last part with all the strength in me, but nothing happened, and just as I was about to give up and open my eyes, I felt transported to another realm. I saw my wolf. A white wolf flying gracefully on the white snow, looking as pure and powerful as ever. I've never seen my wolf before, and seeing her now I felt this new surge of power to me. I thought you didn't need me again and will never call for me. We were speaking through telepathy and I really liked this connection. I'm sorry. Please, I need you. We need to save Damon. I knew a day like this will come. I knew you will need the gift and it's time you got it. Soon enough you'll be able to shift it, but let's just take it one step at a time. She beckoned for me to come closer, and when I did our heads touched and I could feel power surge through me and transform from her to me. There was a bright blue light around our heads, and after a few seconds it disappeared. You now have the power to heal. Use it wisely. Save our mate, she said, and I could feel her slowly disappear until she was no longer in sight. I opened my eyes and found myself back in the room with Damon and everyone. We could feel and see the light. Let's do this together. We don't have much time left. Sam, the witch and I held hands. They were chanting some spells and I just had my eyes closed praying it worked. Place your hands on his stomach, the witch instructed, and I did as I was told, silently praying that we were not too late. As I placed my hands on his stomach where he was stabbed, I could feel tingles and sparks flowing from within me to his body and going on to work its magic. I had my eyes closed the whole time focusing on healing him, and this went on for a few minutes and was brought back to reality when I heard Damon call out I opened my eyes in excitement. I did it. We did it. He's healed. He's alive. He's alive. Chapter 50. For seeing Damon alive brought smiles on our faces as we all heaved a sigh of relief. I can't believe we were so close to losing him. It didn't even look as if he had been hurt in any way. I was really shocked by the effects of the healing power. It was amazing. I'm so glad you're alive, Damon. Arya sounded so excited, giving him a kiss on the cheek and wiping the remainder of her tears while hugging him. I am too. How is 𝐿𝐲 now? Damon asked, watching her quizzically. She's fine. We broke the spell, Sam answered, proudly. I'm so sorry, Damon. I didn't mean to. 𝐿𝐲 sounded so apologetic. I know she would have blamed herself for eternity if something bad had happened. It's all good as long as everyone is okay, Damon said, putting me closer in his embrace, causing me to smile softly. Seems like you guys need a little bit of privacy, Sam said. I chuckled. We could all meet up tomorrow, we have a lot of things to discuss, Damon suggested, and everyone nodded, slowly making their way out until it was just Damon and I. I love you so much, Damon. I was so scared. I thought I was going to lose you, and that scares me, I said softly, tearing up already as I could feel tears threatening to escape. I don't know what would have happened next if something terrible had happened. How would I have dealt with it? 𝐊𝐸𝐳 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐿𝐲 𝐊𝐸𝐳 I'm here now. I can't say all is well now, but it will be. You're not going to lose me, and I'm not going to lose you. I'll always be with you. I love you. I smiled hearing those words as they also helped calm my nerves. He kissed my forehead and my smile grew bigger as I let out a contented sigh. I know things are far from okay at the moment, but right now I just wanted to enjoy this moment with him. 𝐿𝐲, thanks for saving me. I don't know what would have happened if you didn't. I'm so lucky to have you. I let out a small smile as he leaned closer for a kiss. Hearing him say he's so lucky to have me made me realize how special I am to him. I'm lucky to have him too as well. I poured my love into the kiss as his tongue intertwined with mine. The kiss started getting heated as our hands started exploring each other's body. His lips soon left mine as he started kissing my neck. I wanted more than anything for him to mark me now. I've waited long enough. We needed the connection. I want to be marked as his and be his in every way possible. I took a deep breath as he kissed my neck, finding my sweet spot. I let out a moan and pulled his hair as he bit my neck. I want to mark you, 𝐿𝐲. Can I? Damon asked, staring at me with lust, and I let out a big smile. Of course you can, I answered with a big smile. Finally he wants to mark me. He let out a smile before letting his canine out and realizing that it was going to hurt scared me a little bit. I can sense your fear. I won't hurt you. It didn't sound entirely like him because his wolf was also in control now, and I could get access to mine after this. 𝐿𝐸𝐳 𝐿𝐲 I trust you, I answered, giving him the go-ahead. He resumed kissing my neck and caressing me, and I pulled him, wanting more of his touch because it was so pleasurable. He stopped for a while and looked into my eyes, and that just made my insides melt. He gave me a small smile before sinking his elongated canines into my neck, marking me, causing me to let out a small scream from the pain, but it quickly turned into pleasure as he resumed kissing my neck before moving back to my lips. I want to go all the way with you. Is that okay? he asked softly, and I nodded hastily, causing him to chuckle. I love you, 𝐿𝐻, he professed, and I smiled, telling him how much I love him too. Feel free to imagine what happens next. I'm terrible at these scenes. I smiled as Damon pulled me closer to him. He has finally marked me, and we mated as well. I felt so giddy. Now I am a part of him. You've always been a part of me, he replied, listening to my thoughts, and I smiled. We could now communicate through telepathy, and I was really excited about this new journey we were about to embark on in our relationship. You're so beautiful, he praised with admiration, staring at me while stroking my hair before moving to caress where he marked me, which now had a little crescent and crown symbol on it, symbolizing that I was his queen and now part of the royal family. Don't worry, we will have a proper ceremony in the castle after all this is over, he said, kissing my neck and moving down to the rest of my body, particularly my stomach. He kissed my stomach and looked up at me, smiling. You are carrying our baby, he stated, and I laughed. How could he know if I was pregnant? It had only been, what? A few hours. There's no way. I can feel the life in you, but you probably wouldn't realize it till after some weeks. I couldn't get any other girl pregnant because it can only be you, plus you are a wolf of fertility. We're having a baby, he clarified. Oh well. I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know how to feel about having a baby. It certainly didn't cross my mind, but if it's true, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm having a baby. I'm going to be a mother. We are going to start a family. Chapter 55. It was the next day already, and I woke up with a huge smile on my face and instinctively placing my hands around my stomach, wondering if I was truly pregnant, but regardless, I was really happy and saw a brighter future for us. I leaned closer to his embrace and started stroking his hair. It's crazy how I've come to love him and care about him this much, especially how we started off on the wrong foot. Now he's my mate, my lover, and soon enough, baby daddy. It's just so exciting that I will soon be starting a family of my own, but also I'm scared because I don't have any clue on what to do. I know you'll make a great mother, Damon said softly, placing his hands on my stomach, and I smiled at his words. Thank you. Although I'm scared, I'm looking forward to it and ready to start this journey with you, I confessed, smiling, and he let out a big smile too. I love you so much, 𝐿𝐻. I know you'll make the greatest queen any king has ever had, he said, and I blushed a little. He was just making my heart so higher. I love you to Damon, I said, smiling, and would have kissed him, but morning breath was an hindrance. He chuckled before getting up. We should get ready for the day. We have a meeting to discuss and a journey to embark on. I sighed as that brought me out of La La Land. I had forgotten about everything else and chosen to focus on us alone, but there's a world out there that we are a part of and some evil people we need to put an end to. Don't worry. It'll be fine. It will all be over soon. He gave me a quick kiss on my forehead before heading to the bathroom, then on second thought he turned around and looked at me, and I knew exactly what he was going to say. Do you want to join me in the shower? He asked, and I rose to my feet, answering yes as he carried me bridal style into the bathroom. After we had our bath, Damon went for the meeting he had called with his warriors, elders and other officials, and I made my way to 𝐿𝐻 room to visit her. Walking into the room, I found her staring at the window, looking lost. She had no idea that I had been knocking or was even there, except maybe by my scent. I went around to tap her. I could see, turned around, I could see the tears on her eyes, and I immediately felt sorry for her. I couldn't understand the pain she was going through, but I know it wasn't easy for her. Losing her mate, being pregnant with her not around, no one to talk to or hold at night. She felt so lonely, and add that to the guilt she must be feeling that everything was her fault, especially after what happened with Damon. I said nothing and just embraced her, hoping that the hug could somewhat comfort her. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling so lost and useless. There's really nothing to live for except my baby, she softly said, crying. I miss him. I don't know what to do. It's as if there is no reason for my existence. I just want to be with him. It broke my heart that she was feeling this way, and I didn't know what to do that would help her. Her thinking of dying is certainly not my answer. I understand that she might be feeling depressed, but we are here for her, and she could always see a therapist or just someone to talk to, and I'm here for her. I'm sure he would want you to live and be happy and take care of your child and love your child, then love your child the way you loved him. I tried comforting her. We need you, 𝐿𝐻. You are strong. You are powerful. You are loved. Everything is going to be fine in the end. I don't know how to bring your mate back, but we are going to make sure that his child lives, grows and had an awesome life. You'll be a great mother, I said, and she smiled a little, rubbing her stomach. Thank you. I really needed that, she said, embracing me tightly, and I smiled, glad that I could help in a way. She pulled out sniffing, and I was confused for a moment. You scent. It's laced with something else. Oh my. You and 𝐿𝐢𝐬𝐬, she exclaimed and hugged me. Seeing the mark, she exclaimed again. It's so lovely. My little sister is growing up. She's now a queen. I laughed hearing her words. I haven't officially been made one though, but since Damon is a king, that makes me a queen. Definitely didn't see that in my future. I'm just so happy that we have finally mated, and I'm excited to see what this new phase will bring, I excitedly said. I really couldn't wait to have my children playing around, especially with 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬 and 𝐴's child. It will be so lovely. She smiled, then the next second she looked sad. My child is not going to have a father. I really wanted a complete family, what I couldn't have, but it turns out my child will be getting the same thing as well, she sadly said, wiping the tears that was already spilling, and I hugged her again. I don't think it was right for me to tell her about the fact that I could be pregnant. I guess I'll just wait till it's been confirmed. You're going to make a great mother and show your child so much love, and your child is going to love you so much as well, and besides, you have all of us. There are a lot of father figures here for your baby, I reassured her, a small smile nodding. I'll be fine. I just need to avenge the death of my mate. I'll make those witches pay for every single thing they have done to me, she swore bitterly, and I let out a small smile. Now that's what we need right now, for her to step back into her power. Those witches will regret messing with us. We will make them pay with their lives. Chapter 56. I stayed with 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬 for a while, keeping her company and just talking with her about life and what it would be like when all of this finally ends, and it is really something to look forward to. She got really tired, fell asleep, so I went to see Jonathan and Sam next, and knowing Jonathan, once he realized that we already mated, he was going to ask some really funny questions. Thinking about it was already making me laugh. I walked into their room after they told me I could come in. They were playing video games, which was quite surprising knowing how serious Sam can be. I wonder what would have made him decided to play. I defeated you again. It seems like you should just stick to your wizardry, or better still play games that has like Merlin or so. Jonathan mocked, laughing, and I joined it, causing Sam to glare at us. So what brings Her Royal Highness down to our quarters? Jonathan asked, faking an accent while staring at me as if I had a secret to share. I just wanted to see everyone, since we'll be going on the journey soon, and just hang out before things get too serious, I replied, taking a seat. The time has finally come for order to be restored, and I can finally fulfill my mission and do something else. Sam spoke up. Come to think of it, he didn't seem to have a life outside of us, or we didn't know about it. So what will you rather be doing? Raise a family? Jonathan jokingly asked, laughing, but I could tell that Sam had probably considered that. Oh well, I just didn't think that you were that type of guy, but then again you are quite the serious good guy, so it was expected. So what type of person do you want to date? Witch, werewolf, vampire. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nelban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Jonathan questioned. I really don't know, Sam. When I find her, I'll know, Sam answered, and Jonathan muttered while winking his eyes. I hope you both find love soon. We all need someone to love, and someone to love us, no matter how tough we may act like, I said, and Sam nodded. The relationship coach has spoken, Jonathan said, clapping, and I rolled my eyes, laughing. Come to think of it, the air around you is different. Your scent and aura is stronger than before. Did you and Damon try to make babies? He asked, wriggling his eyebrows suggestively, and I burst out laughing. They already made the babies, not try to, Sam said, like a point of correction, and that just sort of confirmed that a baby could really be on the way. So very soon we have babies running around. Yours and 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬's, and we are going to be uncles, Jonathan said excitedly. I feel like I'm growing old. I know Sam is old already. I just wonder how it's going to be like becoming a father someday. Trying to picture the scene made me chuckle a little. Jonathan is going to be that playful father that does crazy things with their kids. I just knew it. I'm sure you'll make a great father, I said, and he smiled, saying he was going to be the world's coolest dad, causing us all to laugh. On a serious note, we should get prepared for the next few days because it will determine whether we get to do all these things or not, Sam said, and I stared at him, hoping that there was no bad vision and we were all going to make it out alive, because I am really scared. I don't want to lose anyone. We've all become like family. It will be so painful to lose one of our own, but hopefully we wouldn't know what that feels like. Me, Raina. How are you doing? I have already finalized everything for the journey. We'll be leaving tomorrow at dawn. We will all have a meeting in the next 10 minutes in my office. Take care. I am still getting used to this telepathy communication, but I liked how it was going. Damon said we should meet in his office in the next 10 minutes. I'll go get Lauren Day. 10 minutes later. Sam, Jonathan. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Chase and I all sat in a round table as Dame and discussed the plan with us. Details we needed to be aware of and other things needed for the journey. If there are no more questions, we leave tomorrow at dawn. We should all get prepared, have a good night's rest. Damon said, concluding the meeting. Everyone stood up and left, leaving just Dame and I. I felt like I wasn't ready for battle. Every wolf here could shift and fight in their wolf form, but I have never shifted, and I might not be able to in some circumstances. Might require me to, but then I have my powers as my backup. Don't worry. You've got this. You are strong, powerful and wise. They are no match for you, he encouraged, and I giggled. Yeah, they are no match for us. Maybe if I repeat it to myself it will stick. We've waited so long for this. Everything must go according to plan. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Although there was a plan B and C, I will rather us stick to the first plan because the other were riskier. Not everything goes according to plan, and that's why it's good to have backup plans, and nothing bad is going to happen. I'll protect you. All of you. Damon promised, and I smiled. No harm will come to any of us. We'll watch out for each other. We will all get through this alive, I stated boldly, and he smiled. That's the spirit, girl. So are you ready to go see my kingdom? Of course I am, I answered, excited. We were finally doing this. Dawn came quickly the next morning as we all gathered to embark on our journey. Damon was leaving Chase in charge, so he was staying behind, but the rest of us were making the journey to the castle. We were traveling with top warriors, and others were to stay behind in case of any attack on the pack here and serve as backup in case we needed one. I watched as Chase and Arya said their goodbyes. There is no telling what could happen out there, or even here in Dean, and as much as we had to be optimistic, we had prepared for the worst-case scenario. Anything could happen to anyone, and we were all aware of it, but now is the time to do what we were all chosen to do. Put an end to all of this. Chapter 57. We have been on this journey for about 4 hours now, and we were nearing the pathway that will lead us to the real start of our journey. Damon and Arya have been reminiscing about old times and feeling nostalgic while we just listened to their stories. I really couldn't wait to see the castle and how the kingdom is, because it is a place rich in history, culture and art, and not many get to see it or be born into royalty, or in my case mated to one. We arrived at the pathway soon enough, and we couldn't continue the rest of the journey by car, it had to be on foot. I'm not going to lie, I got nervous as we were about to embark on the real journey. The journey was just about to start. We all stood at the entrance and waited for further instructions. There's no telling what could happen out there. Once we enter their territory they know, and since they don't want us there they will want to eliminate us. We are fighting today so our children wouldn't have to, and so we can have better lives. We are fighting till death. Till we destroy them all. There were series of "yeah" from the warriors, and I admired their courage and bravery to do this. Let the real journey begin, Damon announced, and everyone nodded or affirmed yes in one way or another as we all made our way through the pathway. We started walking through the pathway, everyone at alert and watchful of any suspicious activity. I was beginning to see the castle in sight, and it looked magnificent, like something out of an old history movie. I stared up at it, marveling at the artistic beauty and architectural style, and caught sight of a blazing fire shooting towards us. I instinctively froze at mid-air, and that was when everyone looked up and we saw the sky raining fire. "Take cover," Damon ordered, shouting as people ran around trying to find a place to hide while Sam 𝐊𝐢𝐴 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐼𝐴. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐼. Damon and I were at the forefront, using our powers to turn the fire to water or freezing it mid-air. With the speed and blazing fire, it was impossible for it not to burn us alive if we didn't act fast. I quickly created frozen ball shields housing the other soldiers to keep them safe while we dealt with the matter at hand. It was getting impossible for us to keep up because of the rate at which the fire kept coming non-stop. It was raining fire, and we were also not safe out in the open like this, so it was a good thing that we had each other's backs and was watching out for one another. This continued for another 2 minutes until we heard a loud roar of people charging towards us. The fire ceased at this point as the soldiers of the Wolf Kingdom charged towards us with their different weapons. This was war, a war that we had to win. We need to make our way to the kingdom. They must know we are coming for them and might try to escape, Dame said while setting a group of our enemies on fire before they could even get to us. "We'll clear the areas we need to go through. We should go now before they move." 𝐊𝐢𝐴 spoke up, using a heavy gush of wind to throw some men away, causing them to hit their heads on trees. Damon communicated something to his commander of the army through telepathy and then turned to ask me if I was okay, of which I nodded. He gave me a small smile as we started making our way past our enemies, putting to ruins all those we came across, but it seemed like the more we destroyed, the more they increased, and we didn't have enough men on ground to fight them off. "I'm going to make an illusion. Trick them to thinking that we are here while we actually not, and teleport us just outside the kingdom. That should be better. Just do anything to get us out of here," Jonathan stated, anxious as he kept trying to fight some men off. The next thing we heard was a poof, and we found ourselves not too far away from the castle. Hundreds of wolves gathered around and we were facing them. The wolves looked angry and scary, ready to tear us into pieces. The warriors we had immediately shifted to snarling and growling, showing off their canines ready to attack. 𝐊𝐢𝐴, Jonathan, Arya and Dame shifted as well, leaving just me who couldn't shift, and Sam, who was a wizard. "Please stay close to me. We are covering for them," Sam ordered, and I moved to where he was ready to defend and protect our people from any attack. As if an imaginary shot had went off, signaling the start of the battle. The wolves all sprung into attack mode, with them preventing us from going in, and we trying to penetrate into the castle. No doubt we were outnumbered again, but we were still going to fight. It's either we win or we win. The wolves were fighting. I was soon beginning to see some of our men down. Sam and I were trying our best to keep the casualties as low as possible by helping out those in danger of attacks, but they couldn't see, but the numbers were uneven. 6 wolves to 1. The odds weren't stacked in our favor. "What do we do, Sam? If we continue like this, all our men will be gone in no time, and many of them will still be left," I said, voicing out my worries. "We will have to gather them in a place and light them up," Sam said. An enemy wolf was just about to pounce on Damon from behind, and I immediately used a gush of wind to push it far away along with the others behind it. Things were not looking good. It was as if all the wolves were assigned to Damon, as they all kept attacking him. Everyone was doing their best to protect him, and it was when the wolves attacked them for trying to come in their way. Damon is their target. We need to use him to lure them our way so we can set them on fire, Sam said, and I immediately communicated it with Damon, who agreed to it. He had gotten a few bruises but was not terribly hurt. Damon started making his way towards us, and they all followed him like bees to honey, and it was in this instant we started setting them on fire, and when they tried to escape, making their way from Damon, 𝐊𝐢𝐴 shifted back to human form and joined in as we all began to burn them, because that was the only way we could survive it. Once a larger amount of them had been set on fire, it was now easy for the soldiers to battle with them, as it was now an equal fight. Seeing that the soldiers now had everything in control, to my 𝐿𝐢𝐳𝐼𝐴 𝐊𝐢𝐵, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐼. Damon and Jonathan shifted back to human form as we began to make our way inside the castle. It was a pity I didn't have the time to admire the intricate detailing and design of the castle as we hurriedly made our way and trying to get to the top tower, where the king was likely to be. Just as we were about to climb the stairs to the tower, we heard a loud sound followed by smoke. It was the evil witches. They were here. Chapter 58. The witches were here. They had an angry look on their face. There were 2 of the main evil witches. Formerly 3, but Damon had killed one of them, so it was just 2. The witches stood angrily staring at us, and for the first time we outnumbered them. Did you really think that you can just come here and you'll easily destroy what we have sustained for so long? One of the witches asked. She has a red curly hair and she was quite short and looked quite angry. That's the point. We are here to restore things back to order. You've carried this on for too long. Sam spoke up. Shut up, Warlock. We have no business with you. The other witch spoke up. She had jet black hair and was a little bit taller than her friend. Our main concern here is the Wolf King and 𝐊𝐢𝐳. The red hair started. 𝐊𝐢𝐳, sweetie. Did you think you can really get away from us? We own you and that child you are carrying. She was eyeing 𝐊𝐢𝐳's stomach, which was already starting to show. You don't own me, and most certainly don't own my child, and you never will. 𝐊𝐢𝐳 thundered. The black-haired witch started laughing. We wouldn't own the child if you can't give birth to it. It would be such a pity for you to lose it, don't you think? The red-haired asked with a wicked smile, then started doing something to 𝐊𝐢𝐳, causing her to start screaming. I quickly rushed to 𝐊𝐢𝐳's side as she nearly fell, clutching her stomach. Damon, Arya and Sam swiftly attacked the red, which causing her to stumble and stop her attack on 𝐊𝐢𝐳. Are you okay? I asked, worried. Nothing must happen to her baby at all cost. Yes, I'm fine, she replied as I helped her up. I don't think you should be here. It's dangerous. I don't want anything to happen to you. I was worried about her safety and that of her child. These witches are dangerous. I'm here already, Lee. I'm done running. We need to end this now. I have to destroy them. 𝐊𝐢𝐳 spoke, determined. Okay then. Let's do this, I said as we dodged an attack from the black-haired witch. Sisters reunion. How sweet. She spoke sarcastically, sending different balls of fire our way. We dealt with her while the others faced the red-haired witch, and they were slowly getting to her. I was using more fire to fight her off while 𝐊𝐢𝐳 was changing between wine to attack and water to quench the fire. This went on for a while until I realized this was their tactic to delay us while the Wolf King 𝐊𝐢𝐳 escaped. We need to end this quick. I communicated to Damon through telepathy. They are delaying us on purpose. You will never win against us. The red-haired boasted as the attack she made to Sam hit him. You are all nothing but roaches under our feet. That seemed to have annoyed Damon as he started a blazing ball of fire bigger than the globe to attack the red-haired witch, of which she dodged. To my agent 𝐿𝐢𝐳, 𝐊𝐢𝐳. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, 𝐿𝐢𝐳. Sam ended them and started a big ball of fire and in unison attacked the witch, and this time it hit her. She let out a loud scream, causing the black-haired witch to turn in her direction, and we took it as our chance as we swiftly attacked her with a ball of fire that hit her, and while she was trying to recover from it we kept on sending balls of fire to her, attacking her, updating her on different parts of her body, and soon she started burning, but she didn't give up. She kept on trying to attack us but failed as we expertly dull her attacks as she was weak. The 2 witches were burning now, screaming at the pain the fire was causing them, and as if that wasn't enough, Sam brought out an ancient wooden dagger used to kill witches back in the days and stabbed them directly on their heart. The burn from the stab was different. In an instant, they burnt to ashes, and I let out a loud sigh, grateful that was over. Now that the path was clear, we swiftly made our way to the topmost tower, and when we got to the chamber that the king was, it was heavily guarded with able-bodied men and angry-looking wolves. As they pounced to attack us, we didn't try fighting them off with our strength, but started burning them up or using different elements to attack them as we cleared the path leading to the door. Damon opened the door, and we all walked in looking for signs of the Wolf King, but the room was completely empty. Where could he be? I asked Damon as we looked around, trying to find any hidden passage. I'm sure he must have escaped already, Jonathan said angrily. We need to find out how he escaped. Damon and Arya, do you know of any hidden passage around here? 𝐊𝐢𝐳 questioned. Sam, could you try out a location spell? I asked as we all sought to find any loophole or anything that gave away how he escaped. Where he escaped to or where he might be. I turned around, going back to the door so I could access the whole room and probably see something that I wasn't seeing. I tried opening the door to see what would catch my eyes if I just walked in, but the door wasn't budging and we most certainly didn't lock ourselves in. "Guys, we've been locked in," I announced, and they all turned to look at me, and in that moment when we were all distracted there came an attack from nowhere as the room started spinning around speedily and we all lost balance, and in that moment of our decomposure that we felt the room heating up. I tried to wrap my head about what was going on, but I couldn't even think until we saw them. The witches and Amon. They let out an evil laugh and in unison they spoke up. "You really didn't think you killed us, did you?" I was too stunned to think or even comprehend what had happened. Turns out they played a trick on us and we fell for it. Chapter 59 just great. When I thought we were almost done, it was just starting over. "Did you really think you could defeat us that easily?" they asked again, laughing, seeing the look of shock on our faces. "Where's Amon?" Daemon asked angrily. "You'll never find him, Axel. You'll never be king. We'll make sure of that and destroy your minions with you," the Red Witch stated, glaring at us. I was still confused as to why they weren't dead, but then they could have pulled an illusion trick and it made me wonder if they were doing the same now. I had questions I wanted to ask Sam. "We'll find Amon and bring an end to this tyranny. We will bring an end to you because you are nothing. Nothing but stupid old hags," Arya said, and I nearly laughed at her choice of words. Her words annoyed the witches as they both used their powers to push her to the end of the room, causing her to hit her head on the wall. "Is that the best you can do? You must not be as powerful as you think you are." I had no idea where Arya was going with this though, but I went over to where Sam stood. "Is there a way you can find the location of Amon?" I whispered. "He's somewhere in this room hiding," Sam answered, and I began to look around for places that was big enough for a grown man to hide. Why would the supposed king be hiding? This just goes to show how weak he is, only to be controlled by witches. "Do you know where in particular?" I asked, but the witch got hold of me, using her powers to bring me very close to her. The Red Witch was choking me, her hands tightly pressed around my neck, her long red nails piercing deep into my skin. "Let her go now," Daemon and everyone else chorused. I tried to wriggle free from her grasp and do something with my powers, but I was already finding it difficult to breathe. It would be so great if the future king died before it was even born, right? She asked, circling her fingers around my stomach, and in that instant she let go of me as her feet started burning, causing me to fall to the floor. I created a circle of fire around her, increasing the intensity of the heat. "To my authentic 𝐊𝐲𝐬 𝐊𝐬𝐬, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." Lauren Day and the other witch continued to battle while we dealt with the one we had. Regaining her composure, she put out the fire and used her push me to the other side of the room, and the intensity of the pain was great. It felt like 1,000 drummers were drumming on my head, and when my back collided with the wall I felt the pain immensely. "You fools, I'm not one to mess with," she said, starting a raging ball of fire directed at me, but before it could get to me, Daemon turned it into a ball of ice. "Saving your damsel in distress, aren't you?" she asked, letting out an evil smile. "You won't be able to hurt any one of us," Daemon stated with confidence, and she let out an evil laugh once more before launching an attack at Daemon. I quickly got on my feet and hid under a table. My head was spinning and banging. Trying to keep my eyes open, I sighted a small entrance not properly closed and made my way to it. Hopefully that werewolf was hiding. If I could get to him and defeat him, the witches wouldn't really have any need to continue the fight. I crawled to the entrance, and when I got in I kept on crawling until the space opened wide and big enough for me to walk through. The place was dark but lit up with different lights. I kept on walking as it was straight road until I saw a door heavily guarded by about 10 hefty soldiers. I knew I probably stood no chance trying to fight them off, so I just used a mighty gush of wind to push them away till they got knocked out. Opening the door, I saw who I presumed to be Amon with 2 older soldiers with him. "Who are you and what are you doing here?" they demanded with hostility. I quickly communicated with Daemon, telling him I found Amon. That was the best thing I could do. It was not my battle to fight. "I'm sorry I got lost. You're the Wolf King, right? You look good." I was trying to indulge them in a conversation before Daemon or someone came down here. Amon gave me a suspicious look and checked me out. Rumors were right then. He chases after anything with a skirt and forcefully had his way with them. "And who might you be?" he asked, coming closer to me, of which I took a step back. Don't go closer. She might be armed. One of the soldiers warned. I'm not. I stated, raising my hands up and turning around. I'm not armed. There was an attack and I was looking for a place to hide, and I'm so glad I found you. I know you are going to take care of me, I said with a small smile. Then what happened to the guards outside? The other questioned eyeing me quizzically. I think they must have fallen asleep, I answered. Keep a close eye on her while I go check things outside, the soldier said as he left the room, leaving me with the other soldier, who forcefully held my hands, preventing me from making any move. Easy there, Richard. You don't want to hurt her, he said, giving me a small smile, which I returned. Damon needs to be here soon. I hope they killed the witches already. She's dangerous, the other soldier announced, walking in, pointing a gun at me, while the one holding me tightened his grip on me. Who are you? What are you doing here, and who sent you? You have just 3 seconds to reply before I blow your head up, he sternly threatened. That's a lot of questions, don't you think? I asked, raising my brows. Sweetie, do you think we are joking? You were going to tell me who sent you, Amon said, tracing the lines of my face. Or we're going to kill your butt before they will be wonderful to see how you taste, he said, slyly grinning. Really? I'm quite curious too if the rumors are true. That you're horrible in bed, I said, laughing. Why don't I just prove it to you now? Leave us, he commanded. I could see them hesitating, but they left, staying by the door after closing it. Now that they were out of the door, I could easily do something to hurt him, but I think he has powers to, but just one I didn't, and I didn't know which. You're so beautiful, he said, tracing the outline of my face and stopping at my lips. I was running out of patience and time, and I needed backup. And you look really good, like a possessive dominant man, I said, smiling, and he let out a happy grin. His nation was under attack, but here he was wanting to have his way with a stranger while doing nothing to protect his kingdom but hide. I like your type, he said, moving his fingers along my neck. I like yours too, I said with a small smile, wrapping my hands around his neck, and just as he was about to lean in for a kiss, I created a rhyme ice and used it to stab him in the neck. Oh, he let out a loud scream, and not to attract the attention of his men, I raised my voice loudly. Just how you like it, huh? You like it rough, don't you? You bitch. He swore angrily, trying to fight me, but the blood was starting to spill already. I really didn't want to be the one that killed him, but I doubt if he was going to die from it, because I didn't stab him deep. Talk to me dirty. I like it, I said, smiling as I saw him start losing blood. It was almost over. I heard a loud shout from outside, and before I could comprehend what was going on, the door was kicked down and came Damon and the rest of the gang. Are you all right, babe? Damon asked, rushing to my side. Yes, baby, I'm fine. He didn't do anything to hurt me. He gave me a small smile and kissed my forehead before turning to Amon. My dear cousin Amon. Good to see you. It's been a while, don't you think? Damon asked, smiling. 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐸 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐸 Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing enthusiasm. I swear I'll kill you. I'll kill your mate too. You can't do this to me. I'll always be king, he stated, and Ariel laughed. Dead men don't rule Amon. He turned to look at her in shock, probably thinking she had been dead a long time ago. Good to see you too, Amon, she said, smiling. The war is over now, Amon. We have defeated the evil witches. There's no one to back you now. Your tyranny comes to an end. Damon spoke confidently, looking at Amon with a smile. What? He asked, dumbfounded. You killed the witches. That's not possible. You better believe it. As much as we love to see you die now, I believe it will be an easy death for you, don't you think so, Arya? Damon said, smiling, definitely coming up with something. What do you have in mind, Elphakin? Arya asked, smiling. Chapter 60, the end. It has been a week since the war ended. Amon had been kept in jail, heavily guarded and tortured, and was executed for the whole Wolf Kingdom to see, and the people celebrated his death. Today is the day that Damon was going to be crowned king, and I was so happy for him. Arya also got a position in the kingdom. She was after all the princess, but she wanted to stay by Chay's side, as he was now made alpha of Damon's from a pack with Arya, his Luna. They were also going to do a ceremony where I'll be crowned Wolf Queen, and I was really excited that all our troubles are finally over and we can now have a semblance of peace and freedom. Ready to be crowned Queen 𝐿𝐬. Damon asked, sneaking up behind me, causing me to shake a little. I'm a little bit scared, but I'm ready, I answered, smiling. You've got this. There's nothing we can't get together, he stated, leaning in for a kiss, and I smiled as his lips met mine. We heard someone clearing their throat and turned to look as we saw Damon's royal assistant. It is now time for the ceremony, Your Majesties, he said, bowing, and I still find it funny how quickly things changed. It was like we were transported into another world entirely in just a few days. I had to start learning a lot about the royal kingdom, how to act, dress and speak like royalty, and so many other things. There were a lot of oppressive laws that Haman had in place that we had been putting to my end, and also the struggle to restore balance, because there were also some alphas that we 𝐾𝐻EMon had to exercise his authority over them. Soon he would be having a meeting with all the alphas on the new changes that were going to be put in place, and the meeting was going to end with a grand ball. Everything felt like something out of a storybook. We'll be there shortly, Damon replied, and he bowed before leaving. We're going to come back to this, but in the meantime we have a ceremony to attend, Damon said, taking my hands, and I smiled as we made our way to the royal chambers. Every one of us was present, and so were the elders and other powerful people in the kingdom. Today the true Alpha King returns, the priest in charge of the ceremony stated, and there was a lot of cheers. We celebrate the return of our king and his mate, our queen. By the power vested in me, I hereby proclaim 𝐿𝐬 and our king Aniana Redwoods our queen. The cheer continued with series of chants that shouted, Long live the king. I felt so happy and so fulfilled. This is it. This is the life I was created to live, not the one of hardship, worries and constantly being on the run. I will make sure that no one has to go through all of that. Together we are going to build a great kingdom with great people. We had changed the tides and retold the story. Although bad things could still happen, because this is life and nothing ever happens smoothly, we were ready to face it head on. He is my king and I'm his queen and his queen, and we have amazing friends and family on our side now. After the ceremony, the 7 of us sat down together to just talk about how life has been. Did I mention that Jonathan found his mate already? She was the granddaughter of one of the elders, and he was making things difficult for Jonathan because he didn't want him anywhere near his property. Can you believe I went to go see 𝐿𝐬 last night, and her grandfather chased me out with a sword? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Logan. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm, he exclaimed, and we all laughed. Her grandfather was the one raising her after the death of her mother, who had run mate only for a child to be dropped at his doorstep a few months later, with a letter that informed him of his daughter's death, and since then he has been against 𝐿𝐬 finding and being with her mate, but he'll come around, I'm sure Jonathan will convince him. So Arya and I have an announcement to make, Chase started as they both looked at each other with tenderness before looking at us. I'm pregnant, she announced, and everybody cheered, telling them congratulatory messages. I was so excited. Our children were going to grow up together. I really can't wait for that day. That's how you didn't tell me that you were pregnant, and I had to find out through the witches, 𝐿𝐬 said, nudging my elbow, and I gave a sympathetic smile. I'm sorry. I didn't know how you would react to it, and I wasn't entirely sure, I said, and she smiled. No problem. I'm just glad we get to do this pregnancy thing together, she said, and I smiled widely. Me too. We are all pregnant at the same time, isn't it cute? I said, smiling, hugging Arya. I think I should get 𝐿𝐬 pregnant too. She can't be the only one missing out on this, Jonathan stated, and we all laughed. Wait till her grandfather uses the sword to cut off your head, Chase joked, and we all laughed, causing Jonathan to give him a playful glare. I felt bad for Sam and 𝐿𝐬 that they didn't have any partners to share their lives with yet, but I know that they could find someone soon. Speaking of 𝐿𝐬 and Sam, their relationship seemed to have gotten better, and he was always looking and asking after her and her child's well-being. I was happy that we all got to be together despite all that's happened, and we were starting a new life. I was happy for every one of us. We were now going to live a life free of worry or wondering if it was going to be our last breath. I was done running now. I was free to do as I please, and even though the actual prophecy had nothing to do with me but something to do with Damon, and it just goes to show how our fate was intertwined. I was done running. The prophecy has been fulfilled. I am his queen and he's my king, the true Alpha King. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode of the story, Please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to get notifications for updates.